Hi, I'm a Forester here, and today we're going to look at the last of the 4 gentleman folders that I've been reviewing. I've been trying to do one review per week, but I've had a busy last week or two, and so I've got to carry the last gentleman folder for an extra week or two and have a little bit more experience to share with you. This started with when I purchased this Chris Reeve Menundi. See, I got Reeve right. Normally I say Chris Reeves. But I bought this Menundi, and to me this is the epitome of a gentleman folder. And then the second one that I reviewed was this Browning Model 560. And although this is a little larger knife, I think it could easily still fit into that gentleman folder category. I bought this one because I am an FN fan, and it has the FN logo on it. And it was $7. And I guess those two knives in particular made me think about the possibility of doing a series of gentleman folders, all fairly similar, but over a wide range of price, from the $7 FN to the $3.75 Menundi. I had this Benchmade 235 on order. It's a new release knife from Benchmade, and I had been waiting for it for several months, but it fits right in there at the $100 category. And so what I was looking for was a $50 knife to fill this void. And it had to meet 4 or 5 categories. It had to be a knife that I wanted. I wasn't going to spend $50 on a knife just to do a review on. It had to be a knife that I would want to carry, just like any of these. Also, it had to be under $50 in price. It had to qualify as a gentleman folder, so it had to roughly meet the same size criteria and appearance as these knives. It had to be one-hand opening. I didn't want a two-hand opening knife, a slip joint knife, and then it had to have a locking blade. Well, I looked very hard for that knife, harder than I did for any of these, and the knife that I came up with, and you've seen this on previous reviews, is this Boker Plus, and it's the Boker Plus Elegance. Now, this is the first Boker that I've owned, and they actually have 3 lines of knives, I've learned. They have the Boker, which is the top of the line, then they have the Boker Plus, and then they have a value line under this that's called the Magnum. I quickly developed a love-hate relationship with this knife. Comes with some paperwork and also a little wrench, and this wrench is related to that love-hate relationship. If your knife is like mine, if you get one of these, you'll need that wrench. But when I did the review of the Benchmade, I think I called it a one-trick pony because of that opening mechanism. But this knife, I would compare it to the love-hate relationship you might have with that beautiful girlfriend of yours who just is too temperamental, and you might have trouble getting along with. But that's how this knife is. When I first got it out of the box, oh, it was a beautiful knife. I had never seen it in person. I bought it online based on reviews that I've read and just online information. But it is a very elegant looking knife. But when I went to open it is when the hate relationship started. It has a very tight thumb stud right up against the handle, and so it's pointed. It's pyramidal shaped, so it's very hard to open, and there was a lot of friction. In fact, I had to use 2 hands to open it with, and because it's not ambidextrous on the thumb stud, it was even not difficult, but it was hard to open with 2 hands. So I immediately got the little wrench out, fiddled with the tension, cleaned the knife, lubricated it, and I've used it a lot over the past probably 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, and I'll demonstrate how it opens here for you later. But let me get into the review. And as far as size, to start with, the Benchmade and the Boker Plus Elegance are probably the 2 smallest knives. The blade is roughly 2.5 inches long, and the whole knife length is just under 6 inches, and that's roughly the same as this Benchmade. So it's a fairly small knife. It definitely meets the criteria of a gentleman folder to me. The first category, and I'm going to rate it on 10 categories just like I did the other knives, and I'll be using an ABC scale. But in the first category I already mentioned is appearance, and this is a very attractive knife. I think one of the reasons that I like the appearance of it so much is the shape of the blade. The blade almost resembles a scalpel, and it just has a very refined, elegant look to it. In fact, I would say as far as looks, it almost rivals the Menundi in appearance. And so I definitely am going to give it an A on appearance. The second category is materials, and that was a lot harder for me to rate, to be honest. And I'll just give you a close-up look. On this side it says Boker Plus, and on this side, I don't know if the camera's going to cooperate. It hasn't been cooperating on close-ups lately, but it just says 440C steel. So I've been very pleased with the steel, the blade steel. It's kept a edge, and it's very sharp. But well, let me go on. The handles are titanium slabs, and that really lowers the weight of the knife. It's only 2 ounces. And then it has G10 and polished G10 inserts into the titanium. So as far as materials, they've definitely upgraded materials. It's got better blade steel than the Benchmade, which had Aus 8. It has titanium handles, which is an improvement from the Benchmade. And then I like the polished G10 scales just as much as I do the carbon fiber, and they're not fraying. So as far as materials, I would place it right in here and rank them this way. The question to me is, does it make it to the A category? To make it to the A category, I would say it has to have premium materials. If that blade was S30V like the Menundi, I would definitely push it into the A category. As it is, I'm going to reluctantly give it a B. And so on materials, it gets a B. On ease of operation is the one that was probably the hardest to rate. And it opens in 2 ways. It opens with that thumb stud. I'll open it 2 or 3 times just to demonstrate. Well, my thumb caught it that time. I'll open it one more time. So you can tell it opens fairly easily, but what you'll find is if you like to play with your knives like I do, that sharp thumb stud, and you have to dig your thumb in there to get purchase of it, will eventually, fairly quickly, make the tip of your thumb sore. So the other way to open it is with this push button lock. And I'll roll in a close-up of this push button lock and how the lock mechanism works. So after your thumb gets sore of opening with the thumb stud, then you use this push button lock. And basically you can just push that button and flip it out, and see it caught that time. And that's the first time it's caught today. And that gets at the temperament, how temperamental it is. Sometimes, you know, it'll open if you really snap your wrist, but when it's working right, you don't have to snap your wrist. In fact, when it's working right, you can just pick it up and it'll snap out there. So the push button lock does work, but it tends to be a little temperamental. And I think what it is that this lock mechanism is very susceptible to any type of dirt that gets in it. So you have to make sure you keep that clean. And I've cleaned this knife and this lock mechanism more than all of these knives put together since I've had it. So on ease of operation, I'm going to give it a B, reluctantly. If it was a little more consistent, I would give it an A. Now on the next category, how well it locks up, I'm also going to give it a B. There is absolutely no side-to-side play at all, but there is up and down play. Not a lot, but there's a little bit. It's noticeable. It doesn't bother me in using the knife, but I think it's a function of the design of that lock mechanism, and I really don't think there's anything that can be done about it. You just have to learn to live with that. But I'm going to give it a B on the lockup. On fit and finish, I'm also going to give it a B. It's not bad, but it's not of the quality of that Menundi. The main points I would make are some of these edges, like this top edge of the handle is fairly sharp. This top edge where the clip attaches to the handle is a little sharp. The edge of this clip is a little sharp. And then there's a couple of divots that were taken out of this polished G10. They're not that noticeable. There's one right here on this side and one right here on this side. And I'll do some close-ups of those just to let you see what I'm talking about. It's not bad. Fit and finish, I would give a B overall. On centering, I'll let you judge for yourself, but I'm going to give this a B on centering. It's not bad, but by my eye it's just slightly off center. I'll try to show it from different angles so you can judge for yourself. But I would give it a B. It's really not bad at all, but to be honest, it's not quite what the Menundi is, or the Benchmade for that matter. Okay, on weight, because of the titanium slab handle construction, this knife is very light. The first thing you notice about the Menundi when you hand it to somebody is the first comment they'll make is how light it is. Well, it's almost the same way with this knife. They'll comment how light the knife is. So I'm going to give it an A on weight. On carry system, I'm going to downgrade it to a B. It does use a clip, and the clip is the same style clip as, say, the ones the SOG knives use. It's attached to the top, and so it disappears in your pocket if you use the clip. But I don't use a clip, especially on a knife this small. I would never carry it that way, and so what tends to happen, since it doesn't have a sheath, it tends to just ride down the bottom of my pocket with all the lint and dust. And remember that lock mechanism is susceptible to lint and dirt, and so that might be part of the reason for some of the inconsistency in opening. So I'm going to give the carry system a B. Now on warranty, like I say, I've never had a problem with any knife where I felt like I had to use a warranty, but the warranty of these three knives I think is very consistent. They're all lifetime warranties. I reviewed the warranty of the Boker Plus, and they'll basically repair it or replace it at their cost, at no cost to you, for your lifetime if you have any problems with this knife. The only knife that didn't have a warranty, or at least I couldn't find it, it didn't come with the knife, was this Browning. But at $7, I think if you have a problem with it, you would just throw it out and go get you another one. As far as collectability, I think I had rated both the Menundi and the Benchmade as being more collectible. The Boker Plus I don't think is going to be a collectible knife. It's got an elegant, very classic design, but I just don't see it as being a collectible for some reason. That's not why I bought it. I bought it because I thought I'd enjoy carrying it, and I think it's a user knife, basically at the price that it's at. Okay, so that's the 10 categories that I've gone over with all four knives over 4 different videos. And if I remember right, the Browning got 1 A out of 10. The Boker got 3 A's out of 10, and I was a very tough grader. I realized that, and it maybe could, if somebody else had been doing the grading, they might have given it 4 or 5 A's. The Benchmade got 8 A's out of 10, and the Menundi got 10 out of 10. It scored a perfect 10 out of 10. So what I want to do next is do one more final video. It won't be reviewing the features of the knives, but I think I've come up with a way to rate the features that you get at different price points, and then come up with some conclusions and maybe even some recommendations that you can use to evaluate your knife purchases. I'll hopefully do that within a week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.